All right, everybody. It's a good, it's a fun opener. Does anybody want to do minutes?
I'll do it.
All right, thank you. I mean, I think Romy's on the way, right?
Yeah.
So she should be able to.
Have
You
that
can, you can tag in. You can tag out. I mean, my events here. High five. All right, cool. Ready to go? All right, cool. So we'll call to order 5:43. So I'll start with the roll call. So we'll go down the list. George Alvarez. Present. Rodolfo Blanco. Not here right now. Matthew Casmayo is here. Jose Llano. Here. Jessica Medina.
Here.
Manuel Perez. Here. Romy Pego Ramyor is on the way. Andrea Richichi is not here. Magali Rubio.
Here.
Carlos Padilla is excused absent today, I know. Daniel Gonzalez is also on the way. He'll be a little late. Rafael Shook. Here. Hector Rodriguez, I know, is excused absence. And then Denise White, the new member. Alrighty, cool beans. I guess before we go to order of business, do you want to introduce yourself real quick, Denise? I guess. Do you want to introduce yourself real quick? I know everybody here kind of knows you already, but for the folks back at home, you know.
Perfect. My name is Denise White. I own Social Society Event Marketing. I've been a Miami Laker most of my life, and I'm really happy to be here.
Awesome, cool. Happy to have you. All right, cool. So we'll move on to orders of business, deferrals, additions, deletions. I guess everybody take a quick look at the agenda real quick, see if there's anything that you want to add on, any takeaways. Or I guess not takeaways, but if there's anything you want to add on. Hope you don't delete any of my stuff. You don't see it in there, but I do have an update on that whole bingo lottery card situation from Kimberly that was here the other day.
So we'll name that old business.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess you can name it old business D. That's just a quick update though, but sure, we'll do it that way, just so it's everything's there. Alright, cool. Good to go? Alright, cool. We'll move on to public comments. I see we have Felicia here. I know we got a,
Yeah, this is not even.
yeah, I got a section outlined for you, so we're good. We'll save the time. Thanks, Felicia. Good to have you here though. Alright, cool. We'll move on to the approval of minutes. So you guys can see the regular meeting minutes attached. So again, just give it a quick perusal. Most of what we're talking about today is, again, it's gonna be covering what we covered last week. And any new additions. What's up?
Last month.
Or last month, excuse me.
I'm sorry. He looks like an attorney.
So the measly budget is gonna be reduced to by $6,000.
The marketing, but we're not gonna feel it though, because in us, what we're gonna feel is actually an increase in our marketing budget because we canceled local intel this year. So for us, it's gonna feel like an increase, even though it's technically.
Yeah, so they
Yeah,
ignored
but
the $100.
oh, they did, oh, they, well, no, the $100,000, yeah.
Yeah, that, yeah,
They
yeah.
probably laughed.
We knew that was a, yeah, that was a pipe shot. Not dark.
Got 10,
What was that?
he got 10.
No.
Oh, you got 6, I guess.
6 because they took the local intel,
Mhm.
they took it off from our budget and that's the difference, right?
Because they're playing it.
Or not the entire difference, but a good
Mostly,
chunk.
because that was like 3.
I don't know, you guys are now
Yeah,
throwing me
it
off
doesn't
without
matter.
looking
That's
at
fine.
it.
It was a
I
good
don't
chunk.
want
I know it was a
that.
good chunk. Local intel was a good chunk of it. It was a good portion of it. But yeah, so this is what we have now. So what's good about this extra marketing expense, and I'll get to it when we continue on further down, especially when we get to the Main Street Live, is that now we actually do have more marketing dollars to actually kind of work with, you know, and use to support and, you know, blast our events and all that. I think last year we only had it was like 2,000 or 3,000 total, right? Or something that we had to mess with 4,000. It was like some small amount.
Question is,
Yeah.
do we have the final budget?
Well, we're in the new fiscal year now. We just have our new budget here. We're fresh now.
Right, so, okay, so the budget is what we have, but it says 13,000.
Yep. That's the total budget. Our marketing expense is what got cut down to 6.
Okay,
Yeah, because that used to be 10, I believe, the marketing budget, I believe. But don't quote me on that. But I remember it was more.
no, but our total budget was like 10.
No.
No,
Or 12.
No, the
More
total,
than the 13.
yeah, our total budget got cut because the marketing expenses got cut, but like I said, in terms of what we're actually gonna be doing, it's gonna feel as if we have more, because a huge chunk of our marketing was going to that software.
Your for the record, I have it here, the 2025 fiscal year, that's the one that just ended.
Yeah.
That original budget was 19,020. So that's a $6,000 difference that you guys received this year.
Okay. And that was all in the marketing.
Out of that, do you know what was local intel?
And
$10,000.
Yeah, I'm almost sure it was 10.
$10,000. It was.
Yeah, because we were left with 2,000 in the marketing budget. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, that's why. So effectively, we gained $4,000 technically.
Yeah, I'm looking really quick snapshot of the last 3 fiscal years. Across the board for the marketing line item, you guys were spending $10,000.
Yeah,
So.
Which was all local.
which is all local income, and then that would leave us with the 2K left. So now we've got 6K to spend as we please. So we've got effectively more dollars because of that whole local intel situation. Even though they cut it a little bit, which, you know, I understand. There's that whole situation with the budget and all that. You gotta make cuts in places, so I get it. I think it's pretty fair. So we've got enough to work with. I think we're good. We can work with this. All right, so that's the minutes. Anybody want a motion to approve these minutes? Was there any edits, any additions, any deletions to this?
I motion to approve. I'll second this.
Cool. All in favor?
Alright.
Awesome. Yeah, let's have it. Hey, Dan, what's up? Hey. The record show Daniel Gonzalez is here. All right. All right, cool. So we're good on the minutes. So we'll move on to the budget review, which is kind of what we already started doing. But I think we're good. We're in the start of the new fiscal year. We kind of just talked about it. So does anybody have anything else in the budget before I kind of move on, or?
Just a question, the
What's up?
mechanics chamber miscellaneous expense of 2020 that goes in reality to.
The greater
The
chamber.
greater
mayor. That stayed the same way, yeah.
Miami like Chamber of
Just wanted
Commerce.
to-
Yeah, it's just, it's always labeled like that for some reason.
Sorry, Magali, I'm sorry. I should have let Magali do it.
Yeah, that's Magali's distinction. Jose, I hear some.
I don't know if in this new budget we've changed things, but I guess we have.
And then
That stays a confusion for whatever reason.
the town's dues to the Miami Lakes Chamber come out of a different budget, not from our budget.
Yes,
Yes.
I know it doesn't come out of us.
I'm not gonna answer that.
It doesn't, because I know it's not here. It's not here,
Alright.
and when we get paid from the chamber, it's always, I think it's like 7.
I'm sorry, is that actually on these line items? No.
Yeah, don't worry about it, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
That's right, we're finally in a spot where we're good, because we're clean now. So we're fresh, everything is fresh and new, we're done clean. It was crazy. Yeah, the last fiscal year was getting done.
Can we ask the town to at least fix the label of that account?
Yeah,
I'll make the request, and let you guys know what the,
I think we tried that much.
yeah, I feel like, I know that they don't like to.
yeah, I remember being more
Create-
issue than what it was.
No, but not create one, just relabel it.
Yeah, it's everybody else.
I know, maybe,
annoying.
maybe Jonathan already requested it, but, and it didn't come through, but I'll ask,
Yeah.
to you guys, and I'll see.
Thank you,
How
Al.
difficult could it be just to rename an account?
I don't know, that's all. They always said it, they always made it so it was a very big issue. Yeah, whatever, it doesn't like, whatever, as long as we're doing it, you're right, it is confusing.
Everybody raises a question.
Yeah, everybody always asks.
Somebody always raises a question in the
No,
community.
it's true, it's true.
It's ours.
Alright, cool, so old business, I forgot to add this with the additions or whatever, but Jose. Sushi bombs. You have the check, right, or no, or did you mail it to them, what did you end up doing?
Nothing, it's on my desk. 'cause I was
Perfect,
waiting for-
that was waiting for him, what do your people like to do, what do you?
If you want to
prefer?
grab it,
I'll just
And
take
yours?
it. Yeah.
Okay, because there is people, I thought maybe you could figure it out. Alright, cool.
These people.
I mean, you know, you know the person.
I'll get it because I'll forget.
There you go. Whatever, somebody that can hand it out to them. Cause remember last time we tried mailing it to Dr. Ramon, got lost in the mail, like a whole thing. So that's why I don't want to.
I don't do. I even paid. Oh, so it's a minimum for agreement.
Yeah, I'll pass it around. You can pass it around too, if you want. Feel free. Alright, cool. So real quick, so we're good there. The sushi bombs, we know what we're gonna do. The culinary bike tour. I guess this is an aisle thing. So I'll wait for her to get back. Let's just jump to Main Street Live while we have Felicia here, so we can continue. Alright, cool. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Alright, cool. So Main Street Live. I'm gonna pass these little things around, these flyers that Felicia did the service of making for everybody. I guess I've already seen it.
So, thank you. Okay.
Thank you. So you three can share.
That's cute.
So we're doing Main Street Live again, as you guys remember, at least the Cultural Affairs Committee is doing it. So what we're gonna do is continue to support them like we did last time. And that's through marketing efforts. I know last time, I think it was like, we did $250 to social media, I think, for each of the events to help promote it. I'd like to continue doing that. I guess maybe now, Denise, we have you to help us out with what's the best thing to do and help, what to do for the promotion of it.
Yeah,
How much do you
When we get
What was that?
How much are you committing to marketing?
Okay, we'll decide that now. We'll decide that now.
You're right, no,
Felicia's here for a reason, that's why.
What's the number?
She's here for a reason, yeah.
yeah, but not the entire budget, no, yeah. We have 6,000.
Yeah, we have more now, so that's why we got more to mess around with and that's good, but, all right, cool, so, and correct me if I'm wrong, Felicia, so the situation right now is you have 3
Yeah.
events, go ahead, you wanna explain?
Presented this to the committee across 2 months, and they approved the bottom 3, I don't know why, not the top 3. And then they finally approved the top 2, subject to funding. So,
Okay.
I mean, I already have the events, I mean, the invoices, the W-9s, it's ready to go. The only thing is we need 2 sponsors, sponsors for the top 2. I can work with Nestor, the country band, I'm not sure, but, he's flexible.
So the one in March, April, and May are funded, you're saying?
Yes.
So January and February.
Yeah, the last 3 not.
We may have-
So you need our help with advertising and finding sponsorships, I guess, first, because the first 2. Okay.
That I understand that you were putting together a sponsorship form, which I like to have it because that way I can go to people and see if I can get. I'll work on it. I've been working getting sponsors for everything, for the ad hoc committee, the anniversary. So, but I need that form because if I show up for this and.
Yeah, I'll talk to Hal about it. I remember we did, I'm not sure if you guys remember, but it was a few months before this, we did a meeting. And I remember Carlos was a big part of it, and we came out with the different like levels, remember? There was like a silver package. I have it written down on, it's just I didn't bring my folder with me with all this stuff.
Sponsor. that you-
Right now, is it anybody?
Sponsoring ourselves. We drew money from one event that we used to have the concert in the park. So that money, instead of having 1 concert, there, let's move it to Main Street. And then we can do the 5 concerts, but it's not, it's not enough. That way, we have, because all the money mostly goes to the bands. Because the stage and the lighting, because they bring their own sound. Remain the same, so it hasn't changed since the last season, I call it last season 25, the 26. At least we don't have to spend extra money on the
Okay.
stage or the sound, the lighting. But, we,
So
what's-
what's the cost of a sponsorship?
I have to see what levels you have,
Yeah, that's for us to,
No, but how much you need?
I have the
it's
levels.
3,000, right? Felicia, for an event?
2,700 per band, maybe less.
Yeah, we're being around 3,000 to sponsor an entire deal.
10,500 from our concert in the park to this. So,
I have a
The lap
draft.
band is not expensive, but
Oh, you have it there still?
I have a,
The one we made?
I think I shared it with you guys last meeting, but I don't think you guys had enough time to go through it. But let me open it.
Packages that we made that one meeting? Is that what that is?
you can help.
Is that you guys had a
No,
bunch
we,
of,
right,
there was a bunch of
what I
handouts that
remember is that we discussed creating sponsorship levels
Mhm.
that, platinum,
Yep,
gold,
and we
and
even
silver.
made like
and-
preliminary ones with.
And
what
then we
consisted
had,
of.
right, so
Everything.
we can invite people to, oh, okay,
Exactly,
500, 1,000, 3,000,
Yeah.
whatever it is.
We just weren't sure if it was approved yet, so we could make the sponsorship package and all that mess, which is now Felicia, it is officially a thing now.
Yeah, Andrea requested it, so I brought a draft last meeting, but you guys didn't get around to it. Hold on,
Yeah, because we had
yeah, I think it was on one
Boot
meeting.
camp.
Yeah,
It was.
so
That's-
this one was very simple because it is a smaller event, so it was a concert series title sponsor, so it'd be $1,500. You limit, again, and also keep in mind, this is based on what the committee had approved. Cultural Affairs had approved 3 concerts. So maybe this changes now that they're looking for extras, for extra concerts. But this was based off the 3. So concert series title sponsor, $1,500, limited to 1 sponsor. And they would receive category exclusivity for all 3 concerts, give welcome remarks at all the concerts, logo on stage banner, logo on registration page, digital event flyers posted across our social medias, and an exhibitor area with 10 table chairs included, and featured an event video and photo recaps posted to social media. And then there was gonna be opportunity for multiple silver sponsors per concert. This would be the cost per concert would be $600. And obviously they get a lot less benefits. It would just be logo on the flyers, registration page, and exhibitor area, and then also featured in the event video photo recap.
Let me ask you a question. The title sponsor is 1,500 for the entire series or
Correct.
for each event of the series?
But this was drafted based on the 3 concerts
On
that
3.
have been approved so far.
Yeah,
Now, you guys were talking about 5.
Yeah.
So maybe the price does need to change because that 1,500 is based on the pricing for.
And 3,
3, so then at $1,000, it should be about
it's 500
2,500.
per concert.
The concerts as a whole are 3,000. Is that what you were asking? Yeah,
The cost of women.
yeah, for the band, the lighting.
Yeah, but if you have multiple sponsors, then you.
So for 3,
That's for all.
you add $1,000 and you
Yeah.
have the 5 of them
Because
covered.
you're right, that would be the per cost.
Per cost, 2,500.
Now, the silver is 600 per event.
Per event.
So the sponsor-
And that's unlimited. I mean, you guys can put 2-3 sponsors for each event.
Mhm. But the title sponsor is exclusive.
Exactly. So if it's like the Automar or whatever, that's it. There would be no other car.
Yeah, like Main Street Live presented by Miami
Yeah.
Palomar or whatever. we're-
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, that was the first one that came
No,
to
I
mind.
get it. They sponsor like everything.
Oh, bueno, I did this.
Yeah, but listen, there's like 6 dealerships over there, we don't have to go
Yeah.
to the same one.
Hey.
Not that Fred would like that. He said, no.
Spread the spotlight.
So
okay?
yeah, I can move this one to 2,500. And again, limited to 1, same benefits.
Okay, does that make sense to you guys? What do you think? 2,500 instead for the title sponsor?
Well, if it
Yeah,
was
500,
1,500 per event, yeah.
Essentially, you're getting it at a discount, right? Because we're putting this one at 600 and we're giving you 2 for
And this is
500.
500.
Yeah.
Per event, yeah.
And would there be a 3rd level sponsorship or just 2?
I personally, I don't think that, like, the event is pretty small,
Yeah.
and I think you need to see what the draw is gonna be like.
600, you have multiple.
Yeah, you can have multiple, correct?
Okay.
The only limit there is that they can't compete with the title sponsor.
So you cannot get a car sponsorship.
Another
That wasn't the
sponsor.
example that.
And
I-
that, well, we're right, but since we're talking about the
Correct,
car
correct.
sponsorship.
They already counted with Fred. Miami Lakes, oh, here we come. You want me to go visit him instead of you, Matthew? Okay.
Another good thing is we're saving on, remember last time we did a poster for each band?
Yeah,
Now I'm putting it all in one.
okay,
So we
cool.
can just print
Great.
2 big posters for Main Street and the.
Yeah, and then just like cross that out.
Like this and then, yeah,
Absolutely, yeah. it's
Okay,
not-
cool.
Just be mindful, and again, that's why we need the flyers to be sent to town staff to confirm it, is we just have to be mindful. If you're doing like one major one like this,
Yeah, we need.
this is good to include the title sponsor, right?
Yeah.
But then you may have to change it, you may have to have an individual one because you're doing per concert certain sponsors, right? So just something to be mindful of.
Yeah, but you'd have to print them maybe for like social media or email blasts to have those individuals.
Yeah, but that's why we would do it per event.
Yeah, the-
Like, we could do the serious, like at the beginning of the year
Yeah.
before any of them start and.
Yeah,
do
but
the
what you're
title
saying, budgeting, I guess.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, we can just make the posters of the big ones like that. Hey.
And let the record show that.
Yeah. Blanco has a rad, or Blanco has a rad, so cheap. Okay, cool, so we can do the voting. And just to update you real quick, Rudy, we're on Main Street Live and Romy. We're on Main Street Live, Old Business B. And we skipped culinary bike tour, but we needed to ask you about it.
Oh.
We'll jump back to it in a second.
Perfect.
But the only thing you guys missed, by the way, is that the budget is a new fiscal year budget. We're starting fresh. The marketing budget is now 6K. If you
6K.
remember, Rudy, it's 6,000.
Yeah,
Before it was 10,000,
that's what we got. Yeah,
but
that's
we
what
only had 2,000 available
Correct.
each year. Or it was 12,000, excuse me, before. Because
That's what they
local until
gave
was
us.
10 and we only left us with 2.
That's
So
what
now
they
we
gave-
technically have more marketing funds to work with.
That's what they gave us.
Yeah, which is fine, which
Which
leads
is
us
fine.
now to Main Street Live, which we're talking about helping Felicia here with and the Cultural Affairs Committee with promoting that event, with promoting Main Street Live. So one way that we were gonna continue doing it, at least I thought, was to continue with the setting apart a budget for marketing dollars for social media to help promote the events. That's one way. And then the other way we were talking about now was the sponsorship package that we were gonna help create for them, and then how we were gonna help get sponsors, help find sponsors, because we are the ones with the business connections. Cool.
You guys, but.
No, yeah, but we'll help out, because we're all connected to the greater business community here. Totally. All right, cool. So where we were at right now is that sponsorship package. So what we kind of landed on was $2,500 for a title sponsor, which would you be the title sponsor for Main Street Live as a whole.
For the hard concerts.
Yep. And then underneath that is a $600 silver sponsor, which has a lot of various other things related to it, like social media blast and being featured on pictures and banners and things like that. And it's more of a per event situation, the silver sponsor. So that's where we're at right now.
And okay. And then how those people, if we approach or if we talk, how do the people get to know exactly, would there be a flyer or?
There's, so on my end, this is pretty much, I guess, the benefits are finalized, like we're all on the same page. So I would just create it into a form and I'll email it to you guys, and from there you guys can share it with whoever. The form has all the information. Letting them know exactly what benefits they're signing up for, the cost, and they would know to return it to me, so like that we can keep tabs on who's concerned.
Okay, cool.
So we all agreed 2,500.
All right, I think we're good with that. Is it
Yeah.
like to make a motion, right? I'm assuming for the sponsorship package. right?
I'll make a motion to approve this sponsorship.
second the motion.
Cool. So all in favor?
Aye.
Great. So the ayes have it on that. So we're good on that sponsorship package aisle with 2,500.
I'll send it to you guys next week.
Awesome, thank you. And then that's what we can work with.
Well, I'll send it to
Alicia.
Cultural Affairs and I'll send it to you guys.
Yeah, so we can help out too. Awesome. All right, now for the next part, which is that marketing support. All right, so I remember last time what we did, and we can do a little bit different now since there's so many more, or there's 5 concerts, we can talk about what makes sense and what works best. And now we've got Denise's insight too. So I think last time we did $250 for each one of the concerts. And last time there was 3, right? Is what we did? There's
Yeah, we did 3, we had,
We had more.
January 1, we had
One for free.
because of weather.
Yeah.
Then we had, February, March, no, yeah, February, March, April. Then we had, the Lovers, the last block, and then, Jackson Bond was gonna play in January, but he played in May. So what was the other one? Yeah, May was the last
The
one.
80s.
Huh?
The 80s people.
Yeah, the Glass Block,
The last block.
Brothers of Love, Jackson Bond. I think we have 3, because I know.
We have 3. Yeah, 3.
Whatever.
250.
Yeah, last time we did 250 for each one and it was 750 total, which left us with like the 1,250, which we used for the boot camp, and marketing and things like that
We
associated.
did May.
Yeah,
What if we still keep the 250 for the 5 concerts?
okay.
Okay. I will put the motion to have the 250. For each concert, total of 1,250. For the 5 concerts coming out of our budget.
Okay.
Okay.
We have discussion on that real quick. Does anybody? Yeah,
A second,
I'll second the motion again.
all right, cool.
thank you.
All right, so we're good on that discussion real quick, because I just feel like it was pretty quick. But we're good, right?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, thank you so much.
It's the town communications department, so Claricel and her team. So she's got, it's Idalis is usually the one that kind of, I'm not sure if you ever met her, she's usually the one that has the cameras with the ribbon cuttings and things like that. But she's the one that runs that whole thing. Like I remember we had a meeting with them or at least Carlos did with his team when we were doing the boot camp marketing.
Yeah.
And he sat down with them and talked with their strategy and how they're gonna do it. So if that's something that you wanna do, that's something we can set up as well. I know we've done it before,
Okay.
to see like what's the best way to kind of,
Yeah. I'm just
Approach it?
curious,
Yeah, just to kinda know how they're
who
doing
does
it.
And what does that include?
yeah, what areas and stuff.
Yeah,
Perfect.
250, what
Yeah, because I know a
for
big,
that?
a big part of what, at least whenever we're trying to push things, it's always what's it called? Like the geography, like where exactly we wanna push. Because like right now, the whole goal of the EDC, at least this year, is we wanna try to bring outside people from outside Miami
Right.
Lakes in, that's the goal.
Broward,
Broward.
or Gable.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the goal. That's the
So
goal
it's,
this year.
it's like the circle, how far, 5 miles out, 10 miles out?
You
Yeah.
guys normally, if you have a preference for that, you guys would normally tell us. I
Okay,
don't know if that's.
okay. Wait, what do you think, Denise? Do you have an idea?
I'm kind of
I'll
curious.
throw it on you.
Is it more cost effective to hire someone from the outside on a monthly basis?
I mean, we've talked about it before, but we just don't have it in our budget to do something like that. It would have to be something separate from the town. Because that's what we tried, going into this fiscal year, when it came time to go up to the council, right, and approach them and ask them for changes in budget and all that, Carlos and Rudy went up. And part of what we voted on was to ask for $100,000 in our marketing line item
Which
instead
we
of the 12,000 that we had.
did.
Because we wanted to do that. We wanted to
Yeah.
hire somebody
Yeah.
to promote and take over that, and that would be part of our budget. But that didn't really pan out because they figured that's more of something that the town itself does through their communications department, which is, that's what they do.
Yeah, I mean, however, I can help.
Yeah.
Out with that.
No, for sure. Yeah, so that's why. So the person to talk to for that would be, like I said, so we can connect with that, and maybe there's something we can do in that end, to kind of help out with that.
But and then how much say do we have on how that money gets spent? Or do we just give them the check and?
Well, the say that we have is at least what we have in our budget. That's what we
but-
say we have. But yeah, in general, then yeah.
Right, but no, but we determine, say, okay, we have $250. Do we just give them a blank check and they do whatever they want, or do we tell them how we
Like
want them to
strategy.
spend that money?
Well,
The strategy.
just
And
to
this-
clear, I wouldn't say it's whatever we want. The town does have a communication strategy and plan, and that's kind of what we follow to promote, events, initiatives and everything else we do. Something that I will mention, because I think people committee members don't realize it when they're asking us to promote things, is we have a bunch of other committees, unfortunately, and other events to promote. So that's why it does help when you guys come to us with time like right now, well in advance of the event, so we can properly schedule it out. Rather than, a week before being, hey, can you guys post this? Like, that's where, it doesn't always work out efficiently. But we do have a communication strategy, and I'm happy to share it with you guys if you guys just want to know what it looks like. Obviously, when it's targeted ads, it's a little bit different, but that's kind of, I guess, like the basis of it, and I'm happy to share it with you guys so you guys have an idea.
I know that at least there's websites for events that are going on in Dade County and Broward County where they post
Mhm.
like these public events. Is this something that in
Eventbrite.
any way can make it to those things? Because I know that there's like websites like chief no sé qué.com,
Eventbrite.
but I don't think it's
Big
through
one.
Eventbrite. It's like I have to look
You
it
mean
up.
like sort of like event directories?
Yeah, so if I wanna see what's going on this weekend, I Google it, and then there's places that list all of Broward events, out of
yeah.
date events, to see if you wanna partake in any of them. So if this event could somehow be listed in there, that alone, because people are constantly looking for free things to do in the weekends.
Yeah.
Well, how does the town like index? It manages like a lot of different events for different committees in the town itself. Like, what's the strategy for like indexing and like, both for search engine, social media, and like, these sorts of directories?
Yeah, I can't speak to it because that's not my forte, and I don't wanna,
And-
say
and
anything in
you also-
marketing.
You also mentioned paid ads. Do you know by any chance how much budget does the town have for actual paid advertising?
We don't, so
There-
in general,
There's
we
no
don't do
budget,
paid
so
ads,
that
yeah.
was part of what we discussed when we did the Main Street merchants, the town has no budget for like event marketing, nothing, like Main Street. Main Street is privately owned by the Graham companies, any efforts are by the Graham companies. And then the town, it's whatever the committees get either through fundraising or through budget allocations that the committee spends on that, but there is no master plan for the town for marketing or whatnot, that was part of the effort that this committee made earlier in budgeting where Carlos proposed like $100,000 budget for us to do that. And we talked about it last year about, you know, how can we Coral Gablesify Miami Lakes? And, you know, I looked up the plan that Coral Gables have, and they have a budget of $350,000 a year to bring art and marketing into it's just not feasible for the size of our town and the taxes collected in our town and what all that is allocated to.
I mean,
50 committee.
maybe we can't do 350,000, but you know. Surely the town can do more than zero at some point.
Well, just so we're clear, again, like in general, we obviously promote within what we have.
Right,
that's
right.
great. We promote it a certain way, which is what I'll share with you guys to the communication strategy. The only difference is like you guys making a motion, we wanna allocate X amount of dollars, obviously takes you further. But that's kind of an individual decision per committee. So some committees, you know, find that it helps them, like you guys put in money for the small business boot camp. So we, based on that, then the communications team kind of goes off of it, and then you guys provide parameters as well, like how far, how many miles out, what's your target age group and all that. But those are things we get into once it's a paid ad.
Right, which,
Yeah, so again, that's an
pretty-
individual
right.
motion per committee if they wanna put like marketing dollars. to
Yeah, for an individual.
So there is a free strategy that the town will do, and then, okay, let's
Of course.
mention Main Street Live.
Yes,
And they put it in there, and
Yeah.
they either the Facebook, the
Yeah, super
Instagram.
organic,
yeah,
social media.
yeah, that's organic.
So,
Sure.
right, so now we got $250, which we're giving the
Mhm.
town, basically taking it out of our budget for them to promote Main
Yeah.
Street Live
Through paid ad.
through paid ads, and this is where I asked, you say, who decides where that money goes? Is
Well,
it,
you guys give us parameters and then based on that, they will follow.
okay,
That's kind of what you guys gave us and from there they develop.
okay, so they follow our request, or whatever.
Yeah, we say this specific event, and then we could say like, you know, around, you know, targeting 15-mile radius around Miami Lakes, you know, maybe we can, you know, we can get as specific, I'm assuming, as
Yeah,
we are allowed to with Meta or anything like that.
Yeah.
You know,
Although I-
what age demographic, what language,
I
what.
would like
location.
to comment at least that $250 as a one-time spend for paid advertising is equivalent to just lighting money on fire. It's not going to achieve any meaningful results. You know, you sign up for Google Ads and they'll give you $1,000 credit. You know, you spend like, you know, these couple $100 and you don't need to spend tens of thousands to get good results depending on what the goal is, but you know, probably depending on what event it is we're promoting, I would say minimum should be, if you're gonna spend on ads, like 1,000, you know, or at least five, you know. Exactly, if there's a limit there's a lower limit that if you spend too little, you're essentially gonna get zilch, nothing, nada.
Yeah.
Unless and it also depends on the recurring factor, but if it's like a one-time budget for a one-time thing, you know, it's different versus say if it was, you know, let's say $500 recurring, weekly, monthly, you know,
Mhm.
250 one time is just lighting on fire.
It's nothing.
No, not for
Okay.
paid
It's not
advertising.
gonna make it go
It's not gonna
anywhere.
make it
So then so then what I'm thinking of then is what do we do then? What do we do to help market it? And then what can we do with our marketing budget? Because that was the issue. We wanted to make it 100,000 because we figured anything less than that, we're not even gonna be able to move the needle.
No.
So what's even the point?
Right.
Which kind of leads me back to now, what's even the point? You know what I mean? Like, do we just say, what's the point? And then do nothing? That's what I'm wondering. Well, what do we do? I need your help. What do we do?
Or
I
instead
mean-
of doing that towards towards 5, we do it
Pick
towards
one.
1. And you can be more effective on that one instead of doing nothing for 5.
Maybe.
Or we just can we give it to their committee and let them decide how they're gonna spend it for their event?
Yes, we do.
This might sound like a
Oh,
bit,
Felicia, maybe she can help us out here.
I've been doing this for a while and promoting our other events and we have been getting more attendance and I think has been due to our old fashioned emailing everybody and actually the band themselves. That's why I gave them a draft and they loved it. Is that what they do is they put it on their website, on their own website. And they say, we're gonna have a concert on Main Street, blah, blah, blah. So they help us promote it too. So, and they do it for free. So, the idea.
No, not
is-
for free, but it's part of the.
Well, it's part of.
Yeah,
But they like it because at least and then normally is through them. also, I have an idea of, you know how the farmer's market has those banners, those hanging flag banners? Have them the day of the concert, put them on Main Street, because people drive by and they don't see it. I know Shellas has, you know, is very visual. We're very close to
Yeah.
67, but we're still, you know, when we're doing the concert, say, can they hear it when they drive by? But if visually they don't see something that is going on, they will not stop. But
Yeah,
it's that, it is through the band, is the Laker helped us a lot. Linda, she's always asking me, do you have information on this and that? I said, I'm working on it, you know, as soon as we get the poster.
That's
approved-
local though.
Yeah, local,
That's local.
but,
Okay, I guess.
then, put it in on Eventbrite. Because normally when we do our events, we advertise them on Eventbrite, even though they're free. Half the people show up, most of the,
As we.
but if you put it on Eventbrite and you say we're having a concert, a lot of people see it. And I noticed on Eventbrite, even though say Miami likes that, they advertise everything else from everybody else. Why they don't concentrate on us, I don't know. So that's,
Well, you bring a lot of great points and it kind of led me into something I wanted to mention, to propose like a radical idea. So if we have very limited. No, it's creative use of the money. So we have very limited funds, you know, and we can't just pay to have, because at the end of the day, you know, paying for marketing ads is just getting exposure, just being in more people's faces, right? At the end of the day, I'm just thinking, there are people in the town, I don't know who, that have a bit more clout and relevance, right? You know, on social media and like engage followers locally, right? Hypothetically, if we can't really pay them for what they're doing, but what if we use the limited funds to actually, let's say, develop, create like a plaque, a program, be like, hey, you know, to help support the town, give them recognition in exchange for them promoting on their channels our events. We identify them, we create like, hey, you know, we're trying to, like, the influencers of Miami Lakes, I don't know.
They have greater
You know,
reach.
exactly, use them, engage them to be like, hey, you know, we're trying to promote the town, you live here. This is, you know, to just kind of appeal to their, you know, want their stewardship for the town. It doesn't cost them a dime to just help promote the events, and then we're giving them in turn recognition from the town or this committee as a flag, exposure and
Or we contribute to their Patreon, you know.
Something, you know,
give 10, 15, 20, 25, whatever.
I at that point, I think honestly, like coming up with like an award or like just a way of recognition, because people like recognition, you know, it's like, oh, they promote the town, like, oh, they become recognized by the town, thus more likely to help us get that exposure at minimal cost, you know, because we have very little money, we can't actually pay them for like, hey, like a normal influencer campaign,
Yeah.
but people like recognition, we're still part of the town, it's official recognition. You can just develop like a plaque, a trophy, something, a certificate, little, maybe even photo shoot or whatever, you know,
I like
thanking them.
Like
You
a
know,
spotlight.
exactly, yeah, so that's,
Collaborations are really big. I mean, paid
Yeah.
ads are great, but collaborations, tagging, all the bands and all the sponsors and having them repost on their social media.
Yeah,
If they have a
exactly.
huge following, that's what's gonna bring you people.
So-
I know the main, the Main Street of right here. Main Street, they have their own little website, but again, it's very local. But I know Andrea posts the past ones, anything that's on Main Street. They will post it on the Main Street website. So that's
Doesn't
more,
reach
we have
them.
Eventbrite, I mean, it's like.
I think
trying
we
our
should
best,
try and
but
get
it's
sponsors
hard.
outside of Miami Lakes. I think
And then
that's
word
good
of
for
mouth,
us.
I have people in
Yeah,
my community.
it's the thing with sponsorship kind of is like two birds with one stone in a way, sort of, right, with this, because it's kind of.
And for communication,
Anything
for
else?
marketing, when they're posting on social media, are they also including tags? For
Hmm.
sponsors and all that? Or
I
are
don't
they
think
just like
so.
creating a graphic
not
and
sure.
posting it, like captions are big, tags are big.
Yeah, I don't know to what extent the
Using
town
the tag.
goes, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, the
a
town
good
what they do.
Oh, and how
I mean,
often
I
are
don't
they
have Facebook, but on Instagram, it's
If it's just
like a
one.
3 seconds thing, and sometimes I have to do a screenshot to.
I know.
Really read the stuff because it's too fast.
I don't know if it's different now. I know back in the day when it was Jonathan running the town's Instagram, he hated flyers. He was very anti-flyer when it came to posting them.
Are we
Well,
allowed
to be
I don't know if
fair,
it's still like that.
Are we allowed
wasn't-
to- Like if I create the graphic and send it over.
Oh, yeah,
just for
sure.
the Posting.
So it's not so much the anti-flyer on.
Which I get.
It
why,
was
though.
more-
It makes
yeah,
it
but I
look
wanna
ugly.
be-
I understand.
No, but I wanna be clear about that because it was more of a strategy that you would get more views instead of like a static
It's
flyer.
ugly as hell, I get it.
No, but no, but my understanding, cause he drilled it into my head, was the static flyer is not gonna get you as much views and engagement as a video will.
No,
So his whole thing was,
yeah,
he
fine.
wanted to get a lot of
I get
video.
it, I get it.
So for example, I know like when we've had some of these bands for other cultural affairs events, we asked the band to send us like if they have good video footage, we would use that to now promote the upcoming
Yeah.
event rather than a static flyer.
I
I
agree
have a
to an
bunch of,
extent,
um,
because
videos
people
from
need
them.
to go back and they want information. So like a graphic is gonna be super helpful with like when, where, what.
Well,
instead of
we
just
do
like
create
it-
the flyers. It's not that we're not, but I know that the flyers, my understanding from the communication strategy is that the flyer would, it just like has a place for the flyer and it's not necessarily like, let's say Instagram. It's kind of what he was saying.
Yeah. No, I get it, and I just posted once,
Oh,
like
there's
they
a
did it
link.
with our business boot camp, right? If they posted the flyer here, but like what you're saying, none of the sponsors are tagged. down there.
Right, yeah, that's.
They could have tagged all the
Yeah,
those,
that's.
and I get what you're saying,
Out
that helps
on
to
your-
promote it.
your-
Well, I mean,
yeah,
even
huge,
tagging
huge.
them would allow them.
Yeah, to
Well,
repost
share
their
it.
story,
Yeah,
yeah.
you
And
know,
then
we
we
want
want them a
them-
notification, and their social media team will be like, "Oh, crap, thank God, send it to repost, and then they'll post it.
Yeah.
The most important,
That's literally how it is, it's
Yeah.
fine.
the most important
Thank
thing,
God.
especially for digital content, you know, and social media, is the shareability of it and making it possible. I know through
Yeah, yeah.
Instagram, you have to tag, you have to add even preferably collaborators.
Yeah,
Sponsors could be the
collaborators.
collaborators, you know, and they get to then repost it, and we get more exposure for like very,
Right.
for not, without having to pay an extra dime, just for that little extra
Yeah.
tag,
Cool.
you know. But we need
Right.
to.
I like it. I like the idea, but remember, we did just vote on that 1250, or or do we not vote on it?
No,
we don't.
That's because we don't vote.
Yeah, perfect, the discussion worked, me saying discussion before works great, we are discussing.
Right, we just.
Okay.
Okay.
It's happening.
The only
It's
motion
already
we
done.
have is the 2,500.
Right, perfect.
Yeah, yeah,
Perfect.
that's the-
That's
the
perfect, that's
sponsorship
perfect, No, I wasn't sure if we had done.
No,
a
but
It's
my
a second
mind-
motion.
There was a second motion,
There
Mara, and I
wasn't-
didn't catch it. I was waiting for you to
Her
talk so that I
motion-
could ask.
Her motion, technically the motion on the table right now
Okay,
is
right.
Magali. I forgot who seconded, and it was 1250 total for the series to
But it wasn't,
participate at.
but there was no vote on that.
There was the.
Yeah.
No, this is the discussion.
Which is good, yeah,
Haven't
that's
done
what I
it.
wanted,
Yeah.
I wasn't sure, we're good.
I'm sorry, what is the motion? I didn't catch it.
It was motion to allocate 250 per Main Street Live concert series. I mean, per concert, for a total of 1250 for the series.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep,
Mhm.
yep, that's exactly what it is. Yep, but now we're discussing, because we're, you know, as we were saying before, that we need a lot to move the needle, and that 250 for each isn't gonna move the needle at all. And so now that's what we're discussing, so,
So that's the motion.
yeah, we came to the conclusion that maybe working with some sort of influencers, like local influencers, or local collaborators, or something like that.
I think the
But-
local ones have the best probability of actually being willing to kind of engage with us and kind of work with us on
Yeah.
that, you know, and again, I think $250, developing a way to create recognition. Again, I think something physical like a plaque, the same way how, for example, you know, let's say someone's creating a YouTube channel, they get to 100,000, they get like a silver plaque, you know, then they get a gold.
Yeah, I
you
get it,
know,
I know what you're saying.
just, and again, the town being a, you know, very, it's an authority figure, a governmental authority figure, lends it so much credibility that I do believe there are people here that would love to do that. They don't have to be like huge, like tens of thousands of followers. They can just have a couple thousand, have good engagement. But if the thing comes down to the manpower to identify them, the outreach, and again, the offer, you know, we have to be very specific on that and have all those touch points figured out. There's a lot that goes into it, just a lot of thought, but we need to read the man. Essentially, instead of the spend, we just need, if we can use manpower, then it can be achievable.
Yeah, we need a person, you know, I've tried a lot, and you know, my first flyer for the others, the 2025. Was a little bit, had sound in it, music, and it was a little bit, you know, animated. This one is more static, because I've been doing so many things that I said, no, let's keep it simple. But yeah, we need someone that can help create something visual, like I was saying, to bring attention, you know, the hard copy of this, and then something, you know, because I have all the videos, they keep, you know, I have a whole file of videos from each one of them that we can use or edit. Some of them are a little bit long, so that people can see, oh, this is the band, wow, let's go see it. So yeah, the visual is very important, the animating part.
Absolutely, and I'm curious, does the town, you mentioned how they might do like one Instagram post. what's their strategy regarding stories? Because if they already have the followers, you know, stories could be there's oftentimes a great way to gauge interest from your followers by having like those interactive polls and so on to gauge like, hey, you know, you're gonna sign up, you're gonna come, you know. To get more use from what the town's digital presence is trying to get engagement, not just putting like the same way how the flyer is static, the post is static, and it's a one-time thing. That's not even a campaign. That's just a one-time poop, and then people are just gonna forget. You know, it needs to be. Yeah,
It's the.
You have to be-
Yeah. Exactly, yeah,
It has to be consistent.
yes. Again, it has to be treated like a campaign. You know,
Yeah, Palm Beach has, and actually I signed up for it, is you subscribe to
Mhm.
get information about their upcoming events. So that's another option.
So I think it's important to find out the communications, what exactly is their strategy.
I'm sending it to you guys right now, so you guys can.
And that's only.
Okay. All right, cool. So just to figure out what we're gonna do for the marketing support then, we need to think of something that's gonna be achievable at the same time, something that's like tenable for us and for the town. Cause I like the idea of a lot of the collaborators and the influencers and stuff. I just don't know who's gonna find those people. Like, who are we gonna find? Who are the influencers?
well, I mean, like,
Tico.
well, the-
Tico is now
Maybe
It's
it
something we want, you know?
very well be that each of us may know one.
Yeah.
Like,
Tico,
just in this
Tico.
table alone,
I call Tico.
Tico's doing great, boss.
or, you know, perhaps.
I
even-
mean, you know, they need to have clout on social media. There's not that many just in proper town of Miami Lakes. I mean, we're talking about like people outside of the town of Miami Lakes.
You know, maybe the simplest one would be trying to leverage like the local BNI chapters and the members that are part of it, like. And try to engage them to repost, you know,
Okay.
But your
like that
goal
would be
is
the
to
probably
do
the quickest, easiest segue. I mean, there's so much collaboration already with the Chamber of Commerce, you know, the members there and the BNI and all the networking events, you know. I think that's where we probably have the quickest, easiest pull, because we don't need necessarily to have 3 big, huge people and find them. You could just have several people that have a couple thousand, each of their own followers that are local,
Trello alone
relevant,
has 12,000.
and it would get more exposure.
Like trying to get local restaurants,
Find
local
people.
business.
Yes.
Okay.
But I mean, your goal is to also bring people from the outside, so I think that might be a little bit more of a struggle, but. we can
like
find some.
there's even the owner of the makeup studio that actually has a spot in the Winn-Dixie Shopping Center. She alone has 57,000 followers. And that's one person that she lives here, she has her business here. And she brings people here all the time for that specific purpose. So there's people like this that,
And think about it this way, sorry,
yeah, no,
if we could develop that recognition program, that'd be something that someone like her would probably love to.
Yeah, give her the
Post-
reason to do it.
And
Yeah.
give her a post, like she'll be able to even post and brag, oh yeah, I got recognized by the town of Miami Lakes for this, you know.
Okay.
Even one of the events that you could do, just literally one dedicated to just spotlighting,
But
you
like
know,
one
these
per dinner,
people, you know.
how many people-
Or maybe at the Chamber of Commerce, you know, giving recognition to them there, you know.
the Founders Law is a business, a law firm located in our town. And he has 347,000, yeah, he has 350,000 followers, like, you know. Maybe his clientele is not what we're looking for, but I'm just saying, those people exist here,
Okay.
and
They
it's
do,
not,
yeah.
Just need 100 of it.
yeah.
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 I have a question, how can we reach the people, you know, all the businesses that are registered in Miami Lakes, you know, that file business tax receipt?
Oh, we have them.
We have the.
The BTR list.
Right.
Yours,
Right.
Yeah, we haven't done that in a minute.
No,
we haven't done it in a long time.
Right, but using that list, you know, can we email to those, you know, the flyer or the event, you know, because, you know, that's our first way of getting out there, you know, all the businesses in there. Every business has, you know, like in my office, we're 5.
Mhm.
In, you know, there are businesses of 1 and there are businesses of 5 and there's businesses of 10. So we need to promote, you know, I'm in Main Street. So whenever there's an event associated with the town or Main Street, I get an email from the Graham companies, hey, there's this event going on. So probably, you know, again, that is a way that we as a business group reach out to the business community to have the business community promote within. And then, you know, if you tell 10,000 people, you know, through, you know, there's 2,500 business, but then, you know, if they have an average of 5, 10, 15, you know, whatever employees are, that grows to 10,000 people, and, you know, word of mouth goes out there. And then other strategies like reaching, you know, the people that have followers, you know, maybe in the, as we communicate, with these BTR people, they have, you know, maybe these people that, you know, that she mentioned that have followers, maybe 300, 400 have, websites with followers or accounts or Instagram, whatever. So I think we need to leverage, before we start using our dollars, you know, leverage all of our resources. And sometimes we forget, you know, we just.
It would require us to be a little bit more hands-on, but I think that can go a longer way than dishing out to.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, you have
Yeah,
to-
yeah.
I agree. I'm just worried about us being hands-on.
No, but
If we can do it, I'm down.
even
I'm
the town on again, in the communication strategy, you know, the town has all that information, so
But no.
you cannot use it.
I cannot go into details again, because this is not my area, but very generally, I can tell you guys, yes, that is public information, so we do have like their contact information. However, we cannot just.
No, the town cannot send a.
Exactly, just for something that you haven't opted into, we cannot start sending you marketing material, like, that's not gonna happen. We do have a monthly newsletter, but we only send that to the people who have opted into it. We're not just gonna start subscribing people if they haven't opted into it. Now, I will say it is public information, and if you guys wanna send emails to these people, you can. But as the town, we cannot opt them.
But let me say, I have a BTR, I don't get anything.
So you haven't opted into our newsletter, you
But
have to
have
subscribe.
You guys.
But how do I, yeah, but
It kind of, that's one of those.
all I get is a bill every year, you know, you pay your fee and that's it.
Again, so you haven't opted into our newsletter. That's one of those things, and this is me speaking very generally. I don't wanna go into specifics, cause I
No, I
really don't
understand.
know. But I can tell you guys very generally, there's certain things that people kind of have to look for the information themselves for you to receive, right? Like if I'm interested in whatever city events, like personally, I live in Pembroke Pines. I'm interested in their events. I went and I opted into their newsletter. To a certain extent, it does take an individual effort into what you're interested in. You only follow pages that you're interested in. So that's kind of where the paid ads very generally come into play, because that's where you're reaching people that are maybe not your usual followers and not the people that usually engage. And again, very general sense, if you.
No,
Specifics, I do have to connect you with them because I don't know.
I'm new here, so there's a lot of, you know, and there's several newer people, in the community. And
Yeah,
then
they're
they'll-
anymore.
and say, oh, we've done that ad notion. Say, well, yeah, maybe before my time, so.
How many subscribers does the town have to its newsletter?
I cannot give you the number, but I really don't know.
I'd be very curious to find like.
Because I think it's on the strategy that I just sent you guys, but those may be old numbers because it was developed like a year now.
I'd be very curious as to like, what is the click-through rate and, you know,
Mhm.
the actual metrics behind that.
And then not only that, but we also have, a lot of us are in associations that are in the town. So we also have a reach in those, within our communities, you know, he sits on the board of his association. We have a WhatsApp chat in my neighborhood for our whole, community. So there's also those things that we can be more intentional in extending a reach to.
Yeah, I will say, and I know it's a little different, it's a different group. But I will say, like, for example, we have the Elderly Affairs Committee, you can imagine they're not going on our social media to find out about events, that's just realistically not what's happening with them. But they find out. And I will say, I think that group does a very good job of making sure that their circles are well aware,
Yeah.
whatever it takes. Cause I think word of mouth and obviously the success of the events play into it. I think naturally you grow from that.
Yeah.
But we have a lot of seniors that find out about our events and half of them are not on social media.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I do think a big thing for, let's say like Main Street Live and these kinds of events, you know, I'm just looking here at the town's social, like the marketing strategy. I do see that 12,000 subscribers on the mailing list, which was a good number, but again, the metrics as to like, what does that mean? How many people actually even open up that mail? 'Cause I get tons of mail from like, you know, email from things that I just never even open. I just get flooded with them. And regarding the Instagram, I noticed that, you know, Instagram has that feature for the local map. You can see what's around you. I haven't really explored that fully myself, you know. However, I do know that things like that are getting more engagement, and if there was a way to create, you know, I'm sure event-based businesses and kind of like, you know, things like that do pop up on the map. And if we can get this to pop up on the map, it would improve just the search and visibility of it, you know, organically. You know, the town has 50,000 followers. I'm sure there's a way to leverage that. They don't mention that, you know, really whatsoever here in their strategy.
You know, and there's multiple pages of Miami Lakes, you know, residents of Miami Lakes, and then, you know, there's a pothole that shows up in the, you know, so we can.
Yeah, we can just push it there too, that's true. I get something there now too, post there. I joined all the recent drama.
But I find it interesting how they,
I was never in, but I heard there was excitement, so I was like, what's going on?
Yeah, it's fun.
It was pretty hilarious.
The Miami President Facebook group,
Pretty
it gets
hilarious.
spicy sometimes.
Yeah, it does. I was like, oh, look at this. How exciting. But okay. But all right, cool. So, all right. So I'm pretty sure that vote isn't going to happen. That's 1250. So I just want to verify then what are our action items? All right. What's like the deliverables? What are we going to do for that marketing support? So what I have written down at least is getting on the email newsletter. I don't think we can do the BTR list because it's, you know, they signed up for business related things, not necessarily this, I guess, like what I was saying. So at least we can do the email newsletter. That's a Miami Lakes related event. I'm gonna look into local event directories that Daniel was talking about and Jessica was talking about, see if we can maybe find something out. I know that a few months ago, I was reached out by a company called Secret Miami, and that's kind of what they do. But they charge, like, they were asking like a ridiculous amount of money. They were like, for us to do it. And I remember being like, well, that one. And then the other thing that I'll look into now is local influencers too. So if everybody can please look into the local influencers and see what we got. I know one semi-influencer.
again, like a big thing the more local and targeted you get when it comes to these things, a big thing is like micro influencers or that concept, you know.
Yeah,
You don't want, like, for example, someone who has like 300,000 followers, but their followers are all over the country, really doesn't make a difference to us. We're not gonna get anyone from, like, say, even Georgia to fly over here.
But if 20,000 are here,
Yeah, so like people that honestly just have like a couple hundred or a couple thousand, you know, local followers, and they're active and engaged, they're much more highly valuable for what we're trying to accomplish than those that just have too broad of a reach. Like, you know, we don't, you know what I mean?
I agree. I agree.
I have a question for Felicia. How many people come to these events?
To this specific.
Yeah.
It has been growing. The last one with Jackson Bond was the last one. I would say we had over 100 people.
Over 100. Because, you know, that,
800?
no, because the thing is,
I got a stadium for that.
right, you're trying to sell sponsorship,
Yeah.
and they want to see.
you know what's also, I mean, I think about this because of the Gables, right? If we're gonna do an outdoor event like this in Main Street, I think it would be, I would love to go and say, well, I'm gonna eat in Main Street that day.
Right.
But can we get those businesses to extend, you know how we close the street? Can they extend further into those closed areas and have outdoor seating that day?
I know 1910 killed it last time with that.
But like, what is, then if they do an outside seating, you know, in the middle of the road that day, Amazonia. If you extend further out,
They don't like.
Yeah, Amazonia personally, Amazonia hates it.
Really?
He
Why?
really doesn't like it.
but
He says it was the music, he hates it.
he has
The
a
messaging is
person that's
fine.
going to this event. I don't wanna go in Main Street and be inside somewhere when this is going on outside. I would like to go and like,
Idea that Matthew had, was to have the people's.
The problem is that you can't.
Yeah, I wanted to get like acai people and get people to like bring their stuff.
Yeah.
But, you know, and then you have to coordinate because it's private. You have to coordinate with the grant.
Correct.
But
Make sure that they.
they'll be a little bit more open to this.
I mean, the
So we
street is
talked
closed
about it,
anyways.
Yeah, because I know we talked about, like, I like the idea, for example, of the Garrison putting a little like outside
Oh,
bar and then like have, because they've done it before.
Yeah, we've mentioned
We've
that.
done it before
Bon
with
Vivant.
some other event. And Bon Vivant can have a little charcuterie area outside, and I've talked to the, you know, acai, you know, put something else out there. I think that would be
We
great.
have to create like ambiance for it. It can't
Yeah.
just be like una mesa. and-
No, I know, that's why, yeah, it has to be, you know, it's gotta be the effort in there, but that's why I gotta figure that one out. I'm gonna need that guy. I don't know how.
Okay, I'm sorry, I wanna like bring back the conversation
Yeah.
because it is 6:42. I have 9% left on my computer, so something needs to happen. So
that's
What,
why-
what are we trying to figure out?
Yeah, we're not doing the 1250, so that's not happening.
No,
Well,
it's
if
not
you're not,
gonna work.
you should do a vote and let that. vote die.
So we have the second,
We decline.
so all in favor?
What are we voting on?
That's
The
all.
motion.
Okay, the motion to allocate 250
I'm
per
trying to help
concert.
close that.
Okay. And let me just clarify, because I got it right as Rafael mentioned, the $2,500 sponsorship. So the $2,500 sponsorship is also to all 5 events. So in addition to that, we're motioning for an extra $1,250 to go to the event.
No, it's two different things.
Help me understand.
Okay, the sponsorship is a package.
That was.
It's a package.
We're not giving any money at all for that. We're
Correct.
just making a package to give to potential sponsors.
Sponsors.
And the
Okay,
title
so
sponsor.
much like
Came
that.
up with the
No, there's no money.
Got it.
Not ours, at least.
Yeah, we approved the package, and
Got it.
now we're gonna go and get the
And the
sponsor.
package consists of a $2,500 title sponsor, which
Got
is
it.
for everything.
Okay, so it's not actually dollars. Got it.
No.
Okay.
No, no. So then there's the 2,500 or 2,500 to be a title sponsor for all the events. Like you are Main Street Live
Got it.
sponsored. And then that's title sponsor. And then there's silver sponsor, which was $600. And it's basically you are an individual sponsor for that individual concert
And that's
Per
multiple
event.
per event.
per event. Yeah. And you can have multiple silvers.
And that's it.
That was already done.
Yeah, we're good there.
So this is
No,
the
just you
EC
came
actually
later.
giving money,
This
at
was- this was
250
in
per
order to
concert.
pay that.
Yeah, so
got
this was now, we were making a motion of what we were gonna do, because that's what we did last time, was 250 for the
Mhm.
3. So Magali brought up that motion, and I'm not sure who seconded it to continue it. Let's say it was, who seconded it?
No, I think.
Danny.
Danny seconded, but then Danny.
And then Danny decided, you know what? Take it back.
Yeah.
Do you wanna take your second?
Yeah.
No,
No.
we discussion.
It's fine.
That's totally fine, and then we discuss. Alright, so now I'm getting to the all in favor.
Vote.
This is the vote. All in favor. This is where you say nay, if you don't
Or
want.
against,
Nay.
just one nay, that's
A
it.
lot of horses.
Wait, hold on.
All in
Can we
favor?
repeat the motion, please? Magali's not here,
Magali.
but can.
Second. Daniel.
Magali.
No, but
proposed-
can we
okay,
repeat
the
the motion?
Magali proposed to give $250 per event to promote the,
Main Street Live.
Which is 5 events.
Got it.
For a
which is
total of-
$1,250.
Out of which allocation in our budget? That
Marketing,
was-
marketing.
Then Danny said.
Discussion.
Okay, the second and
Yeah,
second. Yep.
Danny seconded, so we had discussion. Alright, so all in favor.
Aye.
Aye.
Oh, you guys are saying aye?
I'm saying
I,
aye.
I thought it was nay.
I'll say nay.
Oh.
I think we need to.
Alright, so let's do the actual
Yes.
roll vote.
Yeah. Fine, I was gonna say-
He can withdraw his motion. What do we change?
You're for, you
No.
can do the motion. He seconded that allow
He
for
said-
discussion. You guys don't have
Yeah,
to vote
I
for
only,
it. You
I,
don't get
like,
to
on a
vote.
second, and there's no kind of vote.
Magali can remove the motion.
But
You
if
can take the
it's-
motion.
It's more complicated.
Absolutely, yeah.
Listen, if you vote aye, you are for the motion. If you vote nay, you are against the motion. Those are your 2 options. And now she's gonna do a roll call.
All right, so let's do a roll call on the motion to approve $250 allocated per concert for Main Street Live. That's a total of $1,250 coming out of our marketing budget. Jessica,
Nay.
Matt,
Nay.
Rafa,
Nay.
Rudy,
Nay.
myself, I'm gonna go with the ayes. George,
Nay.
Just
Magali.
delete the motion.
No.
Yes or no? This has been a 30-minute discussion. You're voting. Yes or no? Let's go with who has a better idea and the.
Yes or no?
No.
Nay, nay on her own motion. Let the record show, nay on her own motion. Manny,
This is ridiculous.
Manny, thank you. I mean, we really
Enough.
far. Jose,
That's what we're gonna make it.
Denise, nay. The nays have it,
Alright, motion fails.
motion fails.
Very official.
Yeah, but you could brought back the.
No,
No, we're not bringing this back.
How can we help?
I-
No, no, no.
Seven percent, that's on my laptop.
Not tonight, but at the next.
Yeah, the next one. Alright, so we have our action items, just to verify then. We're not getting any, there's no monetary thing that we're doing then for this, for Main Street Vibe.
At this moment,
No.
at this moment.
Felicia, if you have any ideas in the future
Yes.
that could help the committee, that you can help your committee in a more pointed way, please let us know in a monetary way, and then we can maybe help out.
Market the event. I mean, we're not asking for the money.
No, I get it, I guess, I'm just saying, we do have some, is what I'm
But
saying.
I think we should keep this on the agenda because I think that we need to continue to do the efforts that we discussed.
Mhm.
In getting these people that we're gonna be reaching out to, or this, whatever we discussed,
Yeah,
so that
yeah.
it's not just something we don't do.
Yeah.
We're not doing anything, because maybe this 250 goes towards
Yeah.
these people that we identify that we want to do these special recognitions for, or whatever.
Guys, I wanna just but give one comment, in this whole discussion. So we've thrown out a million ideas and we went through the same exact thing when we were doing the boot camp, when we do any event, we always come back to this conversation, which is all these ideas and all these things that we could do to make everything better. And what is the town doing? And we've had these discussions multiple times, I think over the 3 years that I've been on this committee. And it ultimately leads back to the following, which is at this point in time, our town does not have an official budget or person dedicated to doing these things. Efforts happen somewhat haphazardly because of the staff and budget limitations that we have. And no one there is necessarily a social media specialist. And we continue to throw out all of these ideas and we have all these desires and big dreams, and that's awesome. But at the end of the day, over the course of the last about 3 years, the person that ultimately followed through on most of it is this gentleman right here. His unofficial job is the event person for everything that happens with the town. So my reason for why I voted with the ayes on this motion is because I do not have the time to go and find the sponsors and get Amazonia to get over themselves and put their chairs, extended out into the patio. So the least that we can do to try and make the event successful is to lend our dollars to this committee to be able to put it into marketing efforts or what have you.
Right.
Because there's nothing else that we here physically, at least unless you're willing to volunteer. And if that's the case, then you can go to cultural affairs and volunteer for their events. So, but at the end of the day, all the ideas that we throw out need someone to execute it, which is why, for example, for the business boot camp, we budgeted to pay and hire someone to make the flyers and,
So maybe we
work.
should do that.
Well, absolutely, and that's something that we can do, but which is why I voted for their 250.
But the
Yeah.
250, still, even if we hire someone, supposedly is not gonna do anything. So maybe we need to allocate more towards that person.
The thing is that that's not our job to decide. That's cultural affairs' job to decide who they hire and what they use that money for.
I think that's the biggest thing. I don't think it's just about using the 250. It's what are they gonna do with it? That's
I-
what
I'm-
I.
I don't think it's much.
If-
Come on, wake up.
Go have it, easy.
When it came to the,
Okay.
This, we need to, how much does it cost to do those banners, the.
No,
Let's listen
I thought the idea was to have the economic development promote the events, either by
Yeah.
doing a video or doing the banners for Main Street, that's it.
Right, but again, this event, it's in January. It's October, we got November, we got December, and then, in January and February, to promote the different events, so we can, bring, as Jessica mentioned, bring back the discussion with more, and in, Rami's, point, be more concrete and have something. Is right, we need a plan. It's just, okay, here's 250, do whatever.
No,
That
helps.
just giving 250.
This.
Right, so we need a plan, and then with a plan, we back it up with money.
So I agree with Romy that the biggest issue is just the execution side, and not having. That again, it's realistically just manpower to actually do that. I see really considering that all of us here have very limited time with all the other things that we're doing to actually do the execution, it's always gonna fall back in the same place we've always been. So then, what I really see where this committee would be the most effective, if the town, instead of asking the town, let's say for $100,000, they can be petitioned or ask for like, hey, can you hire someone that maybe all the committees or just some committees can use to be a point person that we can delegate to. So this committee comes into play here to discuss the plan and strategy and the tasks that need to be done, but then delegate it to someone, whether it's a current staff member or a new
Yeah,
staff
but
member.
that's what that's a liaison.
That's pretty much what the liaison and the
I know.
communications.
From the 15.
Well, for example, could we assign the liaison the task of research? To identify, to do the research and identifying the influencers and composing a list.
Of what?
Let's say.
I don't,
for the-
like, I don't wanna not answer your questions, and I think you guys have ideas, so if you want, if it's easier for like you and you, if you wanna send me an email of what those questions, those very specific questions that you've come about are, send them to me and I'm happy to share with staff, so like that, since they're the appropriate, like, person, they can answer it very detailed, better than I can.
Okay.
And I think that that's a good starting point, and you guys can then like report it back to the committee if you want next meeting.
Okay, because I just think it's, it'd be, to make these ideas effective and execute them, we would need to have someone that we can delegate the execution to and give them very specific.
Yeah, but
Lunch,
that's what Romy said, the town doesn't have the employee or the budget to do that.
But
It's
I
just,
think, you think the town would be more receptive to
Having.
adding a bit more to their own manpower instead of giving a committee a discretionary budget?
I don't know, that's why that's a whole other piece.
Budget.
It's something-
Like our Danny's running for mayor next term.
Yeah, that's why, it's not for, it's like council decisions.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's why, it's like stuff like that, that's where it gets rough.
On the budget.
That's
All right,
Michelle,
all right.
Michelle.
Sorry, Felicia, go ahead, last thing, this is the last thing on Main Street Live.
Yeah.
What's up?
No, the idea again is like, I'm also involved with the anniversary committee, which has been a very arduous project. And we're still, we're a month away almost from the event, and we're asking to do like a historic timeline kind of video. I don't have the time. I don't have the time, which we're gonna be discussing in our next meeting on November 5th, actually. And having someone who's either a professional, or if the town can do it, or we need to know. Because we need to, they've done it in other communities when they serve, each other anniversaries. And it's getting the team together. Getting the team together, who can do this, are you good at this, are you good at that? And that's the purpose of bringing the committees and say, you have a contact person, actually, we're gonna get maybe a video person to videotape the event itself, because even though I know the staff has the camera and all that, this is a historic moment, a historic day in our town, 25th anniversary. And the same thing, we want to promote these events, but we need quality people to do it. We can do the best we can, but we don't have the tools to do it. So we need help from whoever is good at something. I always do I have Photoshop, and I have all kinds of graphics, which I love to do. That's why I always, this is the second one I do. And I like doing it. I put a lot of my time and effort on this thing, contacting the musicians. So it's basically, like I said, create a plan, who's good at something, you have contacts, let's use that person. And some of them do it for free, some do it for money. So it's creating, like I said, the plan is the key.
Yeah.
The plan you cannot do.
But, yeah,
Like,
we-
when you're drawing a house, you need to draw a plan before you build it. So,
Right, but see, how many of you here are in BNI? Raise your hand. There's 4, right? In BNI. How many are in the chamber?
Yeah.
There's 3 or 4, more. I'm in the board of the chamber, and you're in the board of the chamber, and you were in the board of the chamber. So if we take it to our organizations, that's the first step,
Yeah, we'll be more
Yeah.
active on it. We've got our action items here now.
Mhm.
Like what Jessica was saying, I'll make sure to include this in the agenda moving on out. And then let's see if we can, live up to our reputation here, let's see if we can do it.
Mhm.
See if, see if Romy's right, see if we can prove Romy wrong here. But I agree with Romy.
Nobody cares.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna be, I think it's gonna be rough. All right, I'm gonna fly through these other things. Old business A, culinary bike tour. Isle, is it happening? Do you know? Is the town doing it or is neighborhood improvement doing it?
Sorry.
Do you have any idea? Yes, right?
Pulling up the budget and then I gotta start.
You're good.
You can move on to the next one.
Okay. Alright, best of Miami Lakes. It's done. It happened.
What? I have the list that went out last week,
Something bigger, man.
so I'll share with you. So you
Yeah.
guys have a record of it. Yeah,
So what I wanted to put in here, and I wrote down your improvements
Yep.
in marketing. I think we need to do improvements with marketing, because I also didn't done until
Wow.
George from BB sent me a text with like, he sent me
Hold on.
he sent me a
that's
call.
unfair because
What?
I emailed you guys the timeline of it.
What? Yeah, but I just didn't know it was done.
Dude,
That was months
like,
in
I
advance.
lost track of it after the finalists.
It wasn't like-
You guys have, like,
I
whoa.
sent you the
No, I
schedule.
know, I know. We were on top of it as we could. It's true, but still. It's also
I
proud.
guess
Caught
what
me
I'm
off
saying,
guard.
there wasn't like any post about it, like on Instagram.
Yeah.
Not you, it's not you.
That's what Miami Lakes has
I
done.
sent it to your inbox.
Right, but what we're saying is more, it wasn't like promoted like to.
Listen, I currently have 600 something unread emails, so.
No, don't get me wrong. I got the complaints too. I got an email from like somebody with Linda in it and complaining to me because I'm the EDC chair. So I got the complaints. I didn't hear about this. I'm like,
Yeah.
we never get voted.
The best,
You see, we're in and we become a finalist and we don't get voted in 4 years in a row. There must be something up. And I wanted to respond. We just didn't win, buddy. That's literally all it was.
oh yeah, like, the best role here in this committee is the vice chair, which is why Joseano always, because you don't get angry emails, you don't have to take minutes, like. Next term, vice chair, right here.
That's why I'm skipping ahead real quick, but just a reminder. January, we're doing the votes again, so come to the meeting on January if you wanna
If you
somehow
don't need volunteers.
magically shoehorn into a position, because that can happen, so be here in January.
The magical secretary.
Alright, cool, so best of Miami Lakes, I'm not gonna talk about it much, because we don't really have time to, but for the next meeting, think about improvements, think about ways we can help market it. I know we talked about doing that this time, and I think we did a little bit of.
We tried.
We tried.
We
I
tried.
pushed it more from the chamber
Yeah.
at least, and we were pushing it like that. I think what we can do this year is maybe flyers and like actual printouts and like doing printed things, handing them
I
out.
actually think
doing
something
stuff
that we
like
could do is like, if we can negotiate with the Laker for a formal printed announcement.
Yes.
Because I think that would really like
Yeah.
make it, you know, people
Make
in
it
your face,
official.
exactly. And you know, and a flyer of
Yeah.
when the votes are happening, a flyer of the finalists and a flyer of the final announcement. I think
Put
that would
something in
be,
there, but I think it's just like an article.
right, no,
But it
it
would
has to
be
be
like
in your
a
face.
full cover.
Right, so maybe
spread
we can
thing.
spend some
Yeah.
Page spread.
Yeah.
marketing
So,
dollars.
But I think,
like-
exactly, I think
Okay.
some marketing dollars towards that would be
Okay,
important,
cool.
yeah.
But
I'm
that's
gonna-
just to get the ideas stirring, because now we've got months for that.
I'm
have
gonna
a whole
send you
year,
yeah.
with the confirmation. I'm pretty sure the culinary off the top of my head passed, but I have to look for it because I don't wanna give you guys the wrong
Yeah.
information.
No, we just weren't sure who has it now. If it's neighborhood
Well,
improvement.
how it was.
But if it's
before,
passing,
it
then
was just
we're
very,
good, right?
yeah, like we can have the event. I think the main concern was the cost. Yeah, so I think it passed. I'm gonna double check.
And then, yeah, but then the other good situation after that was who's running it. 'Cause we
Well,
were gonna
the
do it if
committee-
nobody was, but if somebody
The
else is doing it-
committee, the
Yeah,
committees
seems
have
good.
historically been EDC, cultural affairs and NIC that would work
Like,
together to
okay.
do it. I think the last year, the town took it over,
Took it over
but
entirely,
nobody
yeah.
ever moved the needle on it, but I mean, you guys are welcome to be a part of it. It's historically, EDC has been part of it.
Yeah, but who, even though it might be those three committees, there has to be like one that's heading it, because it can't, otherwise.
Stop.
And I said,
If,
Staff.
if at some point, like, we made the call last year, I think that's what happened at the last one. That we were asking people who were like, oh, I'm gonna take over Domenico's, I'm gonna take over, and we never got responses, so at some point, staff had to just.
Right.
That's really same idea this year, but EDC, NIC and cultural. affairs.
Yeah, you do that.
and I six the one that does the bike rides and.
Do you guys need votes? Okay.
We have 8. I can't remember who's going. We're good with these two. But we're almost done anyways. I don't think
So
there's any
I'll
more
send you a
votes.
confirmation of what that amount was.
So,
Adam, can you copy me on it?
so for sure it would be happening. Well,
Yeah.
we know when.
Good night.
Good night.
That's what we
Alright,
need to,
alright.
because I think they're trying to keep it for what they normally do it, which I think is August.
No, no.
So
But
like,
let me check. But let me check, because you guys had a recommendation of doing it beginning of the year.
Yeah, that was our recommendation,
Yeah.
just to keep it.
Did you guys take that?
I think
I
at
don't
some
think
point
we did
in,
anything with it, no,
I think
because
we said it's
we're
the
still not sure what was going on.
February, I think we
we
were.
said February,
And then you guys,
February?
when
Okay.
it's not, still not hot again.
but I think then somebody's concern was the food and wine.
The food
Yes.
one.
Oh, okay.
Yes, At which they had a date.
Well, we're doing
Yeah,
one
it's
at the
like
beginning of the
37th,
month.
I think.
It's beginning of the month.
Yeah.
We normally do it in November. We always done it in
Yeah,
November.
September, October, November.
Town took it over, but now it's too late.
Yeah, that's why, but then we would have to wait a whole other year to do it in November, that,
Yeah.
No, but it was,
the
the money was here, if the money was given, it's for this current fiscal year and this ends in September, so it would have to be
Right.
from here to then.
Okay,
so.
okay, this looks like something again, we're a little bit more info
Yeah,
to see exactly where it's
Yeah,
at.
people
Alright, cool.
are calling me. When-
I'm gonna move on real quick to new business, or old business D, the last,
I
the
love
bingo slash lotto update. Remember Kimberly
yeah,
Trails
Kimberly
in
Trails.
here?
I was
Talk
gonna
about the
say
bingo idea, whatever, it was a great idea.
that. Yeah,
I was emailing with her and Claricel a lot back and forth. It's basically not feasible because it's a raffle and the way that it works with legal and all these situations, it's a huge mess.
Yeah.
If we want to include the town. So she's gonna try to pursue it on her own. I told her that the chamber and all that stuff would be willing to help out and promote it and do stuff with the town.
yeah, they
But when it comes to doing it with the town, it becomes a legal issue because because of the raffle and having to buy tickets and that becomes an issue and it was a whole mess to the point where, Kimberly just said, hey, you know what, I'm just gonna do it on my own. And I said, hey, you know what? I respect that. I agree.
Private enterprise exists.
Yeah. So and I told her, it's kind of easier anyways, without all the bureaucracy.
Mm.
So we're good on that. That's where we're at there. So new business A, the 2026 business networking social schedule. So I guess we can talk about more what's coming up next year in the later meetings, but we'll just kind of focus on the second part here. Do we want to do any more this year?
So we got two more.
There's a couple more
Yeah,
months
two
left of the
months.
year,
There's gonna be
so
two
I don't
more.
know if that's something we're trying to do. There's
There's two
November,
more.
December.
Right.
December, I think is
crazy.
Yeah.
There's
no way. So it would be potentially like mid-November, potentially, if we even want to. I'm also okay with the idea of not doing it. I'm just,
I'm actually more okay with like not doing one either.
yeah,
at this point. I
and
think,
starting
like,
next year.
Yeah, fresh and
worse. Like,
yeah.
If we
Yeah.
don't do something before the end of the year, are we losing any money in our budget? That's.
No, it's a
We just started.
Oh, that's true.
I just started fresh. Yeah, we just started
Yeah.
fresh.
Can we schedule something now though for the beginning
Yeah,
of the
out of
year?
here
Yeah.
too. I just wasn't sure if, everyone's got a little bit of time to do that?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, cool. So,
I'm gonna give a disclaimer.
I need to go.
yeah.
I'm gonna give a
I'll
quick
do this immediately.
disclaimer, because I know you know, but then we kind of get back into the whole marketing thing. If you guys don't tell me that these events are happening in
Oh, yeah.
advance, they're not even going on our website, because it's happened for the last few.
Yeah, for the last couple. Yeah,
So I just wanna be.
No, that's why I wanted
That's why we
to-
haven't promoted it, because
Yeah.
I've been told like week of.
yeah, no.
So the,
We're just
so the
trying to get-
chamber's doing once a month, right? The chamber. is
The chamber is still attempting to do once a month, yeah,
Right.
but except, we didn't do one in.
We didn't, right.
So,
Right.
right? Yeah, right. I don't think there was.
Oh, I don't know what day it is.
Yes, I don't have the email.
Sushi bombs, the last,
No.
Yeah, Sushi Bomb's the last one, but I don't think that will have.
I think it was September.
Yeah, so the chamber is aiming to do one once a month. So what do we want to do in 2026? So our budget that we have for the business networking socials is 3,000, right? That's what we have. And then we're assuming we're gonna start in January to September, $3,000 on the networking socials.
9 months.
The way that we were, huh?
Sorry, I think 9.
Huh?
I think that means 9.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, sorry. So I was like, huh? So we were doing, so when we were doing it was $500 to the restaurant. For each event, basically. Like we do one at Sushi Bombs, they get $500 to help sponsor and bring out,
Food
hors d'oeuvres, food, drinks and all that. Recently we kind of updated it, so it's $500 and they give us an itemized receipt that kind of has, or an invoice, I should say. That kind of has a little bit what to expect, just so we know going into it.
Right.
So that's kind of where we're at now. And we were kind of aiming for once a month, but like Isle said, the reason that we can't really do that too much now is that we would kind of decide the place the meeting before, and then we start advertising it the week after, and then it doesn't give them enough time to really, promote it. So what I want to do now is, what do we want to do? So we've got what, 9 months?
Yeah, but it's $3,000. If you're still gonna do 500, that's only for 6 of them.
Yeah. So what do we want
Every
to do?
2 months.
Probably fair.
Yeah,
Yeah, summer.
Not every month, but every
Yeah.
2 months.
Yeah, I think every other month, yeah.
Okay. So we can kind of keep the same.
So January,
status
March.
quo. I kind of like that. I think it works.
January, March,
That's fine. I think
May,
it works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
May, July. And September. Is that the 6th?
yeah,
Yeah, right.
well, that's 5.
So now what we have to do, huh?
I think that's 5, but I don't.
Yeah, but then we have 5 to give to Romy for her.
Yeah, for the
Nah.
camp event and
For
stuff.
boot camp.
So January, March.
And then we'll decide on the places, next meeting.
Okay, yeah. I like it.
so
So
how
every
many-
other month is what we're
Yeah,
thinking.
Can somebody make a motion for that?
Motion every other month.
Starting January.
Starting January.
Starting
Yeah.
January. Cool.
I'll second the motion and
Cool,
will not
so-
contradict it.
Yeah, so all in favor on this one?
I,
So the ayes have it here. We're unanimous again.
We
We are of one mind again.
Then he said it.
I don't know how it works, me being part of the committee and having my marketing business, but as of January, I'm starting in-house networking events each month. It would be every first Thursday of the month, and I would ask for sponsors. I don't know if you guys would want to sponsor some of those events, but basically it's not just like your average networking events. It's called YAP, Your Access Point. And it's basically gonna be a different edition each month. So it's gonna be, for example, let's say the first month is gonna be a real estate edition. Everyone who's invited to that networking mixer is gonna be within that industry, so you're guaranteed some type of connection. So I don't know if that's something-
Targeted specifically certain
Right,
industries.
so like if we do an education, we'll have speech therapists, you'll have teachers, you'll have anyone that has to do with, you know,
And where would you host them?
it would be within the town.
In different areas within the town.
Mhm. So like just today, I was talking to Carlos about having him host one of them,
Cool.
so.
I think something that we can look into, I think, I don't know if it's written anywhere, I think allocating funds to something like that, like a member is on the committee, I don't know if that plays well
Right,
with town
that's why I
rules.
wasn't
I think
sure.
something that we could do is like, you could like merge that event into maybe one of the ones that we schedule.
And then we sponsor the
And you could-
restaurant.
And you could be a title sponsor of that event, does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah, we could work something out like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, cool. But I like that though.
Like
That
we
sounds
do
awesome.
with like we do with current.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, cool. I like that though. That gives us more options to work with.
Right.
Is there any other
Cool.
vote?
Miami Lakes
Almost
Chamber
done.
Business.
No, we're almost done though.
Expo.
I'm gonna fly through. Yeah, I'm
I'm
gonna fly
the
through.
business expo.
Okay, so,
Yeah.
alright, so new business, that was the network controls. Main Street Live I have again here. Oh, yeah, this was just finding, yeah, I put it twice. That's how important this is to me. So yeah, so we gotta find 2 more sponsors. Cause remember, this is a big deal. I didn't bring this up enough. Those first 2 events, as of right now, they're not gonna happen, right? Yeah,
I don't,
Those-
they didn't approve.
yeah, those first 2 events aren't even gonna happen unless we find sponsors. So that's really the main thing that we gotta do first. Is find the 2 sponsors for those 2 events, or at least the title sponsor.
Right.
Just over-
Yeah, find the title sponsor and some silver sponsors. That's number 1 that we gotta do before even pushing it. Which I guess is also pushing it, but whatever. Besides the point, whatever, I'm talking myself into confusion here. Okay. Yeah, alright, so I think we're good. I think with that, we're good. The only announcement I have written here is November 5th is the Miami Lakes Chamber Business Expo. Be there, be square, and then
We have a table there, right?
the EDC.
EDC?
This time we don't, but I
You
can
don't?
get us one.
Oh, I thought
Whenever we do, it
I-
always ends up being me sitting there like.
It's just hard because we all also have other tables to be at. Right.
That sounds.
December 6th, from 4 to 8, we're doing our 25th anniversary at Veterans Park. We have
Oh, that's right.
a lot of things going on, please spread the word.
Do you have a day job?
My job, I guess. This is like all my evening job.
Chair.
Sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, it's good, I guess. You know, keep me busy. Whatever.
Oh.
I gotta find out. Gotta speed run it. Yeah, speed run it.
When's your next meeting? When's your next meeting?
Okay.
Huh?
When's your next meeting?
Yes, we do.
When's your next meeting, Niall?
Not the third.
at my computer next.
Yeah, see, this is fine.
What is it?
It should be the third
Whatever
Tuesday,
normally
unless
is.
something changed.
the 3rd or the 4th too.
The 4th, November 25th, it should be, unless something happens.
That's Thanksgiving. That's Thanksgiving week.
I mean, whatever,
That's
yeah.
true, yeah, but that 4th Tuesday.
That-
is
I'll
the
bring-
week
I'll
of-
bring a
is the
turkey.
week
That
of
fourth Tuesday
Thanksgiving,
is
yeah.
Thanksgiving.
Yeah, but Thanksgiving is
It's
Thursday.
basically Thursday, and
Right.
antes se trabaja, Rudy, okay, the town is operational.
But somebody has to bring a turkey. That's what I'm saying.